Chair now recognizes Ms. Tlaib.
Thank you so much, Chair Comer, and of course our wonderful ranking member Raskin. It is great to be on this committee, and when I first came in, I looked up on the wall and saw our incredible former chair of our House Oversight Committee, Elijah Cummins, and it reminded me of our first meeting, our first committee hearing here in this chamber. I can tell you it was incredibly powerful. I don't know, Mr. Turley, if you know, do you know what the subject matter of that hearing was?
I don't.
It was around insulin, price gouging of insulin. And the first witness was a mother of twins who had to ration her insulin between the two children. It was incredible because at that moment I thought this is exactly the committee I want to be on. Here doing, what is needed for the American people in fighting back against, greed and a number of broken systems and processes that I think, again, leave many of our families behind. But here we are, though, doing the bidding of a twice impeached, indicted former president instead of working for the people of our country. Mr. O'Connor, 47,395. Do you know what that is, Ms. O'Connor?
I don't know what number you're referring to.
That's the number of active duty reserve men and women serving our nation's armed forces in Kentucky who's going to be forced to go without pay because of the shutdown.
And I should know that because?
No, it's because you have nothing to say about any of this because you're not a fact. You don't have any facts. You weren't there. So, Ms. O'Connor, don't take it personally.
I'm not a fact witness.
Ms. O'Connor, don't take it personally that you are here being used for somebody out there being indicted. This is not helping the American people. Mr. Gephardt, what is this here over here? What does this say?
Well, one thing I'm learning in these hearings is I need new glasses. But that's the countdown to the shut.
That's right. What is it? What, a couple days here?
2 days and 8 hours.
So, Mr. Dubinsky, do you know who said the following? We had thousands of members across the country who returned holiday presents because they needed cash, missed a mortgage payment, took out a short-term loan, and ran up their credit card debt because they had no paycheck for the month.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
State your point. And stop the clock for Ms. Tlaib.
Thank you,
State your
Mr.
point.
Chair. I appreciate that.
All government employees are going to get paid at the end of this month, and also the Democrat Party forced shutdowns on the American economy, hurting businesses,
Reclaiming order.
forcing people to lose their jobs. It's behind in school.
It's okay.
That's not a point of order.
Chair
know
now,
what?
all right.
That's going to be not true on October 1st.
Hold on,
I know,
Chair.
Mr. Chair,
Recognizes
but we
Ms.
can't allow
Tlaib.
people to be misleading the American people. We all know. I was here. I was here in 2019 when the shutdown was there for 35 days. Because you know what? You do know who said this?
I lost track of the
I know. Doreen Greenwald. She was a member of the National Treasury Employees Union. She said 150,000 workers in 35 agencies. She said this is the irresponsible 2018-19 Republican shutdown from the previous administration. Do you know she also went on to say, because this is important, this is what this committee should be used for. She went on to say they stood in line at food banks, pulled their children from childcare, were unable to put gas in their cars and begged creditors for grace. This is not how the United States of America should treat its own employees. That is verbatim from a federal employee that did not get paid at last shutdown. So let's not lie to the American people. Right now, the Department of Agriculture will be forced to stop processing housing loans, which provided over 675 million people and 3,431 families in rural North Carolina. That's all going to stop. The Department of Ag would be forced to stop processing a loan in Wisconsin, about $181 million loans that are impacting rural Wisconsin. Small Business Administration, y'all, would stop processing small business loans, halting over $284 million in funding small businesses in Alabama. That's just one state. The federal government shutdown has real consequences. I would like to submit, Mr. Chair, to the record, FEMA funding would be impacted if the government shuts down. This is in regards to the impact in Florida specifically if the government shuts down, and the impact on the many, many humanitarian aid that has to go to many homeowners that were impacted.
Without objection to order.
In my district, 56,000. Do you know what that is? That's a number of children that will lose their child care spot, the spot to receive child care. State countrywide, it's 3.5 million children impacted. This is how many children, again, our caucus, again, Republicans, are literally just putting aside and saying, no, we're going to do this instead. We're going to go and bring the campaigning, the ugliness, toxicity that our families don't need right now into this chamber instead of doing what we need to do, which is making sure we have a functional government that provides for our families. When it comes to dysfunction, to all our witnesses here, you are now part of it. You came to this committee. They're overachievers when it comes to dysfunction. Why stop at destroying childcare across our country? They're devastating public health, education, social safety nets in our country. And Ms. O'Connor, you are part of it now because you came here.
Chair,
So don't say that you're not
ladies,
part.
time's expired. Chair now recognizes Mr. Burchett from Tennessee.